Hi, apologies for those of you that are now attempting to watch this live stream. We've had some technical issues which we've tried to resolve, but unfortunately hasn't paid off. It does mean, unfortunately, that we are very likely to miss Q3, but we will more than likely be able to join the session on the processional lap. So here's hoping, and we'll keep you posted. So please do stay tuned because we will have the full race starting very shortly. So apologies for those of you watching. We've been trying to resolve some technical issues and unfortunately have not been able to resolve them, but we will get the final queue underway and then we will go to the race. So those of you who are watching on Mixer, thank you very much for your patience. And there we have 3 drivers. The drivers out there, don't know what's happening here. So it looks like we've got a bit of dampness on the track, and some rain is actually on the track, which is a little bit unusual for Singapore in the evening. But we are on board at the moment with Martin Parder Cooper. He's on his outlap So through we have both the Williams, both the Ferraris. We also have the Mercedes, the Stan Drumkoff, the Toro Rosso, Jerome Portmer, Damie Hart, Stappers in McLaren, and indeed Martin Parder Cooper in the Red Bull, who we are riding on board with at this moment in time. Drivers are indeed on the intermediates. So we've had quite a number of drivers drop out because of this unexpected rain. And drivers are indeed on intermediates, as we can see there. So clearly not the best of conditions for them. We are riding on board now with Ruud Window. So Rob Mulder heading on his outlap, Ruud Window, his teammate, coming round now into the final section. Round to turn 14 now. Around this tricky final sector. Coming round to turn 18 under the bridge. Not a fantastically fast time there from Ruud Window, but then again we are on intermediate, so we do expect that. Slippery conditions on the track. 154 set by Martin Parder Cooper 1, 154.8 by Damie Hart. Window now blinding, set to 152.9. So he's set the mark there. Is Rob Mulder, his teammate, something to aim for now. Damie Hartman, as I said, in the Haas, he's done 154.8. Rob Mulder now coming round turn 14 into the final sector. What can this driver do? Can he pull it out the bag, and can we see a Williams 1-2? Bastabrini in the meantime setting a 153.6, puts him in provisional second. And Rob Mulder looks like he's scrubbed the lap there. Mark Stappers, he set a 157.3. Jerome Portmer 155.8. Damie Hartman there, as I said, he's really done a 154.8 as well, but just slightly better than Jerome Portmer. Is an 817, Portmer's an 884. Still to set a time, Rob Mulder, Seb Bogart and Stan Drumkoff. So three drivers, Rob Mulder, Seb Bogart and Stan Drumkoff, still to set a time. Unfortunately, the other driver, Boy Williamson, had a technical issue, wasn't able to get into this session, so he will be starting in P10. John Donkel, therefore, not John Donkel, yeah, I think it is. No, sorry, Marco Pullen will be starting in P11, therefore, for Sauber. But we'll run through the final runners and riders for this. Fast slap there set by Ruud Windau at 1:52.2. But let's have a quick look here. Oh, so close, so close. Rob nearly putting it into the wall there. Very close indeed. So Bogart now coming round. Towards the end of sector 2. What can this Ferrari driver do? Seb Bogart currently leading the championship with 200 points. Bastabrini, his teammate, is second with 160. Damie Hartman for Haas is third in the championship with 135. Fourth is Nicky Visser, who unfortunately is not racing this evening, on 116. And John Donkel's in fifth position on 89 points. Ferrari are heading the Constructors' Championship with 360. Haas are second on 216, and Sauber are third on 170. So, still to set a time though. Rob Mulder's into the pit. Seb Bogart just coming up to turn 13. Very tricky in these conditions. Looks like he's got Ruud Windau on his tail at this moment in time. We've got just under 4 minutes remaining of this session. Ruud Windau is provisional pole at this moment in time with that 1:52.2. Second place, row 1, Bastabrini with a 1:52.7. Second row, Martin Paardenkoper in the Red Bull. And alongside him will be Damie Hartman in the Haas. Jerome Portmer for Toro Rosso is in the third row. P5, Mark Stappers currently P6 would be alongside him. Rob Mulder, Seb Bogart and Stan Jumkov looks like has actually left the session. So I don't know if he had an incident on track or not, but that now leaves Rob Mulder to set a time. Seb Bogart has just set a 1:52.9, puts him in provisional P3, row 2, pushes everyone else a little bit further down. So Rob Mulder now is the man that needs to make the move. Let's see what he can do. He's coming out of the pits now. Can he do something here spectacular? Can he take that second place and seal Williams for that front row start here at Singapore? It's all to play for. Who will win? Who will come out? So there we have it. At this moment in time, Rob Mulder is currently looking to set a time. He needs to better that 1:52.7 from Bastabrini. He has not set a time as yet. He's got under 2 minutes in which to do so. He's coming round now, the final sector. Turn 16 and 17 as he comes under the bridge now. Turn 18. Round now. Turn 21, coming up to the final 2 turns. He's not going to be able to do anything special here. He'll have one more chance. This is the one that's got to count now. This is it, Rob. This is your opportunity now to try and see if you can get on that front row. And let's run on board with him now as he comes round sector 1 to that tricky little chicane there. He's got DRS coming around turn 6 now. This takes him down to the hard left turn 7, and we've got a hard right turn 8 there. Then another left turn 9. You've got to be careful on the exit here when you're getting close onto the board on the right hand side. Build up a bit of speed before you get to left-hander of turn 10. Little chicane there through 11 and 12. Watch your speed as you come round this bridge. Watch the sides, slow down, left into turn 13. Then lay the power down now as you come into the final sector. Right into turn 14. Watch going close on the left, but watch that exit. Then you come into little left right here, 15 into 16 of that chicane. Then hard left, turn 17. Nice little straight there before you get to the little blip. Left, right, 18 and 19 under the bridge. Build up the speed there, round, turn 20. Ride it, left to turn 21. Then coming up to the final 2 turns to get onto that start-finish straight. He can't do it. He does a 1:53.5, puts him in the second row, P4. So Rude Window will take first place. Seb Bogart for Ferrari is second. Bastabreen for Ferrari is third. Rob Mulder for Williams is fourth. Martin Parder-Cooper for Red Bull is fifth. Damie Hartman for Haas is sixth. Jerome Portman for Toro Rosso 7. And Mark Strappers for McLaren will be 8. Stan Drunkov will be P9. Marco Pullen, Boy Williamson for Haas will be P10. Marco Pullen for Sauber will be P11, and then we'll run through the remaining runners and riders. Apologies to our viewers for the little bit of confusion with regards to the broadcast, etc. during this qualifying period. Unfortunately, we had a very last minute and unexpected glitch, which meant that we were having issues restreaming, and indeed I don't think we are able to at this moment in time stream live to YouTube, but we will post the race back up to the YouTube channel so our viewers can watch. The commentary is live, so obviously be aware of that. So there's the qualification there for Q3. Bit unexpected because we had rain. We had dry qualification through 1 and 2. But unfortunately, rain decided to come down during Q3. And that has somewhat mixed it up. Although the runners and riders, as they are, still obviously looking strong. These top 10. So maybe it's offset slightly that Ferrari might have been able to get that 1-2. So they haven't achieved that. Obviously, Williams are there amongst the mix. So Williams taking first and fourth. Ferrari taking second and third. So it is a Williams and Ferrari start. Just see if I can maybe get somebody in here to co-commentate things. Although I'm not too sure. Actually, I think he is racing. So I just sent Guido Hirschstein an invite. But as I thought he was late. But he could well be starting at the back of the grid and racing anyway. So I'll soon see that. If he comes in, he isn't. If he doesn't, then he is racing. But as soon as we have the drivers give the green light and all come into play, then we will see where we sit with regards to that. So indeed, that is indeed the case. So let's run through our runners and riders here on the processional lap. So Ruud Windal has got first on the grid. Alongside him will be Seb Bogart in the Ferrari. Second row, Bas de Breen in the Ferrari, P3. Davey Hartman in the Haas will be alongside him, P4. Martin Parder Cooper in the Red Bull is P5. Rob Mulder in the Williams is P6. Jerome Portmer is P7 in the Toro Rosso. Stan Drunkov in the Mercedes will be P8. Marco Pullen in the Sauber will be P9. Boy Williamson in the Haas, P10. Kevin van Delft in the McLaren, P11. Mark Stappers in the McLaren, P12. Miguel Torney in the Force Indias, P13. John Donkel, his teammate, is P14. Sander Hermans in the Mercedes is 15. Marcel Dronig in the Renault is P16. And Peter Phillips, Nicky Visser, Guido Erschein and Marcel France are not racing with us this evening. So there we have it. We've got a dry start to this race. So hopefully that should give us a good start. And we should be able to see these drivers put in a fantastic performance, as this is the first race here of 2019, the calendar year. Obviously we are still on season 1 here for the 2018 game. So all the runners and riders, long track this. Everybody getting ready now to get on that start grid. Drivers get ready for the lights now. The start of this F1 tonight. Race 15, Singapore Grand Prix, and they are off. And it's a bit of a slow start, but Toro Rosso get out there into the mix. It looks like Ruud Windal's maintaining that lead. Seb Bogart still in sixth. Damon Harmon is still in third. Bas de Breen is still in fourth. Jerome Portman slipped down and up, and again he's got troubles. He's competing there with Martin Parder Cooper on that start. But clean getaway from the first 4 drivers. We can see here that Haas of Boy Williamson starting to hassle Martin Parder Cooper here. And these guys are very much bunched up. Rob Mulder, well, he's dropped down a bit, but he's not doing too. He's dropped 2 places. Martin Parder Cooper's dropped 1. Bas de Breen's dropped 1. Damien Hartman's moved up to 3rd place. And Damien Hartman's actually taken 3rd place from Bas de Breen there on the start. Stan Drunkov dropped down 2. Marco Pullen's dropped down 2 to 9. Guido Erschein, he's in the race. Didn't see him in there, but he's moved 7 places from 19 up to 12. So great start from the Renault driver there. Marcel Dronig, his teammate, he's in 13th. He's moved up 3 places as well. And Guido Erschein going a little bit wide there. Marcel Dronig's also won out. Sander Hermans. John Donkel's lost out. Mark Stapper's dropped 4. Miguel Torney's dropped 4 as well. So Ruud Windal still in first place. Seb Bogart 8/10 off the back of him, but Damie Hartman managed to get through and get in there. Let's have a quick look. Everyone's on the ultra softs, bar Jerome Portman, who's actually on the hyper softs, and Kevin van Delft. So they're on the hyper softs. Mark Stappers, Miguel Torney, and a few of the others are on the hyper softs as well. The majority of the drivers are on the ultra soft. So Damie Hartman's already managing to pull out a bit of a lead there from Bas de Breen. Jerome Portman still in 5th. He's got his pseudo teammate in the Red Bull there, Martin Parder Cooper, on the back of him. Boy Williamson's applying the pressure as well. Rob Mulder also in the mix there. Kevin van Delft, Stan Drunkov, Guido Erschein. All these drivers under a second of each other, so it's really anyone's game here as to how this actually pans out. watching the midfield action here. We're running on with Kevin Mendel, but you can see there Stan Drumkov getting around him, as is Guido Ehrschein. So a little bit of inexperience showing there from the McLaren driver. He's now under pressure from Marco Pullen as well. Marco trying to get round the McLaren here. So Kevin, unfortunately, he's new to the F1 league, and it is quite different when you're actually not racing against AIs but against other real players, and indeed on a 100% race even more so. So Damie Hartman's definitely pulling out from Bastabreen up ahead. He's already got 4/10 on him, so Bast still in with the fight, and he's got down to 7/10 now. Happening here, and Guido Ehrschein's got a fantastic start, moved up 10 places from 19, started at the back. Was unexpected start for this race, but he's really doing well. He's got Marco Pullen behind him now, Marcel Dronig behind him. A real fight going on here in the back. Oh, looks like one of the McLarens coming in. Yeah, Kevin Van Delft is into the pits, I believe. Yeah, Martin Parder Cooper as well for Red Bull. Mark Stapper stays out. So Ruud Windout still leading this race. We're only on lap 3 of 61. So long way to go yet. Seb Bogart in the Ferrari, he's in second. Damie Hartman in the Haas is in third. Bastabreen in the Ferrari is trying to close down to Damie Hartman, who managed to make the move in sector 1 of the first lap. I don't really think that Ferrari driver was quite expecting that, and got caught off guard somewhat there. Rob Mulder in the Williams, well, didn't get the best of starts, managed to get himself back up into position. So he is back into 5th place, but he's still about, well, 9.5 seconds nearly behind these front runners. Then we have Boy Williamson in the Haas. Now he's just under a second behind, but he is under severe pressure here from Guido Ehrschein and Marco Pullen. So the Renault and the Sauber there really putting the pressure on to this Haas. Oh dear, that was a bit of a collision into the wall there. Yes, Boy Williamson goes into the wall and has DNF'd. What a shame, and that looked like that was just before he was going into turn 18. I'm not too sure what happened there, whether he was trying to line himself up and had a collision with one of the other drivers. But unfortunately, that means that Boy Williamson in the Haas is out. So probably try and see if I can actually get Boy in and get some comment from him with regards to that. So let's see if we can get him. So Boy Williamson could well join us shortly and just give us his version of what happened there. But Marcel Droenig's now up to P9, Stan Drumkov's P8, Marco Pullen is now P7, Guido Ehrschein has moved up to P6. I mean, this is an absolute storm for the first 4 laps here. I mean, 13 laps. He's come in, had a few technical issues, wasn't sure whether he was actually going to be able to make the race. Did start right at the back. P19 there, so a bit of a strange run, and Boy, sorry, does indeed join us. So Boy, bit unfortunate there, not too sure what happened. It looked like it was just as you were coming into turn 18, or was it on the exit of 17 that you had issues trying to line up, or what was the problem?
Well, hello. I had a little touch with my time Parder Cooper earlier, so I lost my spoiler, and after I touched the wall my force feedback was gone, and I don't know, I lost control, and I don't know, man, the whole process of to start the race, the disconnection, all that stuff, it's really I say it, off focus me, if I don't know how to
Yeah,
pronounce
puts
that,
you off
but
focus. No, I understand, because I've had the same issue. Obviously, as you know, we had an issue with trying to get the stream working, and then I couldn't join the session again. So it's those frustrating things. So yeah, but Guido Airshine, this is the surprise for me. I mean, Guido came in last minute, weren't too sure if he was going to be able to make the race. Started down in P19. Well, according to this, he has, because he's moved up 14 places. I think he actually started down in P17 or 18, might have been. But either way, he's 17 that he started. He's moved up, and he's up into 5th place. I mean, fantastic start from the Renault driver there. Very surprising.
he has a good start indeed. Let's give me a look about the rest. Well, I had a decent start. I was, before the first corner, I had from P11, I was P6, if I'm right.
Yeah, you had a great start. You did move up really well.
But yeah, that doesn't say anything about the race.
Well, it's the race, unfortunately, the way it happens. Now, Martin Pardecoop has come into the pits, and he's gone on to the softs, so he's looking to go quite a bit deeper into this race. I mean, the softs potentially could take him, I would think, probably round about halfway round this track, because it is a very hard track on the tyres, this, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I had already about, what lap did I go out? About 4 or something, or 5th?
Yeah, a couple of laps ago.
Yeah, I think that I had about 10% already on the...
Stan Drumkov has also crashed out. So Stan Drumkov in a Mercedes has crashed out. Not too sure where that was. And Marco Pullen's into the pits as well. So a number of the drivers... Ruud Window's out as well. Ruud has DNF'd. So Ruud Window has DNF'd from the lead of this race. We're just riding on board Guido Airshine, see if we can pick up. There he is, there's Ruud Window. He's out, and that looks like that was on turn, just before turn 9. So that was in sector 2. Ruud Window has gone into the barrier. And unfortunately, that means that he is now out of the race. And I think that was actually after between turns 7 and 8. So that really has fixed it up now, because that means Seb Bogart has taken the lead. Damie Hartman, the teammate, he's doing well. He's in 2nd place. Bas de Breen is now 3rd, but Guido Airshine is now moved up into 4th place, and Marcel Dronig, his teammate, is in 5th place. So this is a fantastic start to the race for the Renault drivers.
Yeah, that's one thing for sure, huh?
Certainly not expected. Marcel Dronig started right at the back, well, as did Guido Airshine. So
do you want
position changes here?
Over here?
Yeah, if he's happy to come in and give us a little bit of feedback there, because I'm not too sure how he lost. If you want to send him an invite, no problem. So we're just looking at position changes here. Guido Airshine has moved up 15 places. Marcel Dronig's moved up 11 places. And we already have 3 DNFs, Ruud Window, Stan Drumkov and Boy Williamson, who we're in the chat with now. Marcel France, Nicky Visser and Peter Phillips not racing this evening with us. So I'm just looking here, Guido Airshine has not actually made up 15 places, although he has made up, let's have a look at this, he would have started 13 places, so 2 places out there, and Marcel Dronig's moved up to 9 places. So a bit confusing with the places at this moment in time, because the game for some reason is counting in Marcel France, Nicky Visser and Peter Phillips, who are not racing this evening. So a little bit confusing.
That's for sure. But
And,
no safety
Peter
car at
Phillips.
all. That's surprising.
No, safety car doesn't seem to be coming out too often on this game version. The wreckage tends to get cleared pretty quickly. So everything's pretty much settled down now. There's no real close battles at this moment on track. But this really has mixed it up. I mean, obviously Ferrari are happy. They're sitting in 1st and 3rd. But Damie's currently sitting in 2nd place. and it's important for Damie to get a good result here this evening. So we've got Rude Window. Rude, good evening. And what happened? We weren't on board with you. We did see that you looked like you went out between turns 7 and 8. So from your point of view, what happened? But it was enough. But it was enough to take out that front wheel, unfortunately, by the looks of it. And you were doing so well. I mean, you got a great start, managed to stay ahead of Seb as well. So I'm sure you were sitting there looking pretty happy. Oh, looks like we've got a Sauber as well, Marco Pullen. Yeah, Marco Pullen has gone into the barrier as well. So Marco Pullen looks like he's out as well. So another driver claimed by this Singapore track. So Marco Pullen, he was on the soft tyres, but he's gone out as well. I'm not too sure what sector that was in. I think that was sector 2 as well. So Marco Pullen for Sauber is out, and that means we've already got, well, 4 drivers have DNF'd, rather unfortunately. But we're looking here at the Renault drivers and also the Force India. So Force India, John Donkel's moved up into 7th place. Miguel Torney is now in 6th place. But Renault, Marcel Dronig for Renault is in 5th, and Guido Airshine is in 4th. I mean, Guido started right at the back of the pack in P17, and he's already got up to P4. I mean, that's an amazing start for them. So they're all on the ultra softs. They're all around about the same age. Jerome Portmer, he's on a slightly younger set, but Mark Schnappers is still on those hyper softs, and he's certainly showing where. I don't think he's going to be able to stay out there much longer. I mean, those hyper softs surely aren't much good for more than about 6 or 7 laps, I would have thought. Schnappers now coming round into the final sector, I believe. No, he's in first sector there, coming up now to turn 7. Round turn 8, and I think this is where Rude unfortunately lost it into the barrier there on the exit. So Mark Schnappers, interestingly, we know he can make his tyres last, but he's on 8-lap-old hypersofts there. But Miguel Torney is as well in the Force India. Marcel Dronig, he's still in 5th place. Guido Airshine is in 4th. Basta Breen is in 3rd. Damie Hartman still holding out in 2nd place there. And Zander Hermans gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Kevin Van Delft in the McLaren, he's in 13th place at this moment in time. Tough race for this new driver to the league, but it's all experience that he can start to mark down. It's going to take time. And Rude, I mean, how have you found? You've had a great season, but how are you finding it? It's obviously quite different when you're doing a full 100% race. I guess the level of concentration that's needed as well. Yeah. It is very, very tough, but you've had a great start to your first season. You've done very, very well. So, and I think Williams are looking quite strong for the close of this season. You may not get top points, but I think you're looking strong for the close of this season. And obviously your new teammate, Rob Mulder, I mean, he's doing well. He's in 8th place, so I think that was a good team make decision for you. I think you two should progress quite well in the following races, and we've still got 6 more races to go. This is race 15, so still plenty of points to be gathered. But Boy, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I was going to say, I mean, how do you think this is looking for Damie? Obviously your teammate with Haas, he's sitting 3rd in the championship at this moment in time. He needs to keep Bass behind him, and he wants to really, if he can, try and get ahead of Seb, doesn't he?
If it's possible, he will, for sure. And if I'm right, I think he's about gaining 1/10 to 2/10 a lap on best debris. But I'm not sure about that.
Well, it all is a question of how deep they can go on these ultra softs. How deep have you been able to go, or what would you expect to do on these ultra softs at the start of the race? You've got a full fuel load.
Well, I think about
How deep do
15
you
laps
think?
or something.
So
I'm not sure, but I didn't practice a lot this time because of all the holidays and all that stuff.
yeah,
But I'm not sure. I think Ruth has driven more laps than I did. I don't know if he can tell it, but
Rud, what do you think? I mean, on these ultra softs, how deep can they go on these ultra softs? Shredded. Yeah. So you've got to sort of run it. So, I mean, on the start of this race, obviously they're running with full fuel load. There's been some pretty hard fighting, certainly in the first 4 or 5 laps. Everyone's sort of settled down now, so they can probably go to mid 20 laps, roughly speaking. It is. Yeah. It does. I mean, this does completely murder the tyres. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. It is a very, very tough track, and certainly you're going to be looking at least 2 pit stops, very possibly even 3 pit stops. And that said, obviously, we've got 61 laps. We see that the majority of the drivers are on those ultra softs. I mean, we've still got. I'm just trying to see who we've actually got that's remaining on the hypersofts that hasn't come out. Well, nobody, because Rob Mulder's come in. He went onto the hypersofts. They're 6 laps old. Jerome Portman's 3 laps old. We see Martin Parder Cooper. He's on the softs now. He can obviously go a little bit deeper. If we're looking at 20 to 25 laps on the ultra softs, is it safe to say that you're looking 30 to 35 laps on the softs if you take care of them? Yeah. Well, it will certainly be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, because if Martin, obviously those are 9 laps old, if he can go another 15 laps, that will take him round about to lap 30, halfway mark, and he should be able to jump a few people on the pit stop. It's a relatively quick pit stop this though, so we're looking probably 18 to 20 seconds. And Seb Bogart is still maintaining that lead over Damie, although Damie was closing him down. It's still sitting around about 9 seconds. Basta Breen has fallen a bit behind Damey, so he's down to... Oh, dearie me. And that's Basta Breen. As I was just commenting, he was going around the corner and straight into the wall there. Oh my goodness. So Basta Breen now. And that looks to me like that was turn 14. Was it turn 13?
To be honest, I don't have a clue, man.
Nor do I. So Marcel Drone is just going past him now. Oh, that was actually just before they get into the section round the town section. So that was actually just after lap 8. Sorry, turn 8 there. So, well, Basta Breen is out. So that is indeed, sorry, just before turn 10. So Basta Breen for Ferrari is out now, which means that only leaves Seb Bogart. But this is great news for Damey Hartman, because now there are no points going to be picked up by Basta Breen, who is currently 25 points ahead of Damey. So Damey has an opportunity here. If he can get ahead of Seb Bogart, he could actually tie second place in the championships, but I think that's a big ask. He's 12 seconds behind him. But Guido Airshine, the Renault now, he's moved up into 3rd place. I mean, this is totally unexpected. Obviously, he wasn't in the qualification due to he wasn't able to make it. Got in on the last of the race, started in P17, and he's now up to P3. I mean, it's a fantastic race from him so far. His teammate Marcel Dronig was close in behind him, but he obviously has had an issue because he's dropped down to P12. Miguel Tawney now, he's out as well. Looks like Miguel Tawney is out. Yeah, Miguel Tawney has crashed out as well. Oh no, he is there. Although he's dropped quite a number of places. So Miguel Tawney's down in the 11th place now. Martin Parder-Cooper's 10, Rob Mulder, remaining Williams driver, he's in P9. John Donkel is in P8. Marcel Dronig is P5. I've got a real problem with the way this is showing the drivers and their order, because I had Marcel Dronig down in P11 a couple of seconds ago. What are you guys showing as the drivers in order?
Well,
I'm now showing Guido Airshine is in 1st place.
My whole game crashed, so I don't have a clue, man. It's ridiculous.
Oh my god, this is amazing. I just literally had Guido Airshine in 1st place. It was showing on the board, and now he's in 3rd. This is really mixed up, man. I don't know if Codemasters have done some sort of Oh, we're migrating host. So we've got an issue with the host here, and that could explain why we have an issue with the position changes showing on the game drivers. We could have a situation here where we might be having to look at some sort of restart. Oh, right, and he's crashed out and gone out. Oh, no. Yeah, and that explains why the driver positions have been jumping around. Okay, that's a bit disappointing, but I'm sure it will sort itself out in due time. So we can't count too much. Looks like Seb Bogart's definitely 1st place. Damey Hartman's in 2nd. Guido Airshine is in 3rd. Jerome Portmer for Toro Rosso is in 4th place. Rob Mulder is in 5th. As the host is migrating here, we're going to have these guys jumping around a bit. So I think what I'm going to do is go on board with somebody. And wait till it gets itself sorted out. Oh, Guido Airshine hitting the barrier on the... Now that's one thing you've got to be careful, obviously, with these cars, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it, Rude, but you've got to watch any contact with those barriers. It may not get you the first time, but it will likely get you the second or third time, won't it? Yeah. Yeah. Well, indeed, and we are definitely not being totally bug-free with the 2018 version, although most of them have been resolved. So we are at this moment running on board with Guido Ershine in the Renault. He's in third place. We are having some issues with placings as the post-migration is still trying to take place. It can't quite decide who to go to, can it?
Probably not.
Oh right, I thought you were still in spectate mode. Sorry. Really? That's interesting. It shouldn't be. I wonder if that's anything to do with the game, because I've got mixer feed here and it's looking okay, so I'm not too sure what's happening on that. That's a bit odd.
Yeah, I can do anything anymore. I could get this.
Yeah. Well, I've just gone on to Mixer and I've got race screen. So I can see the race on Mixer. Mr. Grim NL. Oh, Mr. Grim NL. Sorry, only just seen your comment there. It is not looking too good at the moment. So, got 4 viewers here at this moment in time, of which I'm one, but I'm going to have to come out because I am streaming. I don't want to cause any issues there. So, we are showing Guido Ershine as in first place again, although obviously he isn't. He is in third place. Seb Bogart is in second place, and Damie Hartman is in second. So at this moment in time, we've got 11 drivers remaining. We did start with 17 drivers. Unfortunately, we've had some DNFs, some Boy Williamson, Stan Drumkov, Ruud Window, Marco Pullen, and unexpectedly Basta Barin in the Ferrari. Seb Bogart, his teammate, though, is still heading this Singapore Grand Prix, and Damie Hartman is 13 seconds. Sorry, not 13 seconds. He's in second place behind him. Although we're not showing any interval times at this moment in time. Guido Ershine, he's in third place. John Donkel in the Force India, he's in fourth place. So this has been a technically bugged race so far. But obviously we're a quarter of the way through this now. We're on lap 15:61. Now we know that these guys on the Ultrasofts can go relatively deep. They can probably go round about to the mid-20s. And that's going to be interesting because I've got Jerome Portmer here out on a fresh set of softs. And I'm showing him as being in 5th place. So depending upon what the gap is there, he could well have the opportunity of getting up into those top 3 when they start to pit. But we're not expecting them to pit for probably about another 10 laps. let's quickly ride on board with the race leader as he's coming out of sector 2. That is weird. No worries. Well, thank you for coming in and giving us your comments, and better race next time. I certainly expect you to be doing very well for the rest of this season, so good luck for you and the team as well. All right, we'll catch you later.
Peace out.
So that was Ruud Windahl there, the Williams driver, giving us a little bit of comment. His teammate now, Rob Mulder, is in the eye line of Seb Bogart, so he's coming up to lap him, and Rob Mulder's actually in 5th place at this moment in time. So he will have DRS because he's got him just ahead of him now. As they're coming down to that hard left turn 7. And this certainly has been an eventful race so far, and somewhat unexpected as well. We've got the Renault driver, Guido Airshine. He's currently in 3rd place. Seb Bogart, who we're running on board with now, he's in 1st place. Damie Hartman for Haas is in 2nd, but Seb has got so close, around 13 there. Rob Mulder in the Williams, who's currently in 11th place, 10th place as it is rather, and he's coming up to try and lap him. Obviously Rob Mulder perfectly within his rights to stay ahead of Seb, but the blue lights will start flashing now. Yeah, he's going to have to move aside, but then he will have the opportunity, if he wishes, to unlap himself. I'm not too sure how that quite works out, because obviously he will be getting flashing blues. There he is, moves aside now and let Bogart through. So unfortunately, I think we are going to have issues with positions and position changes for the remainder of this race, because we have a host migration issue where the host unfortunately dropped out, so the game is trying to find an appropriate host and not able to do so at this moment in time. And indeed the laps are mucked up as well, because I'm still showing we're on lap 15, and we've definitely done more than that, haven't we, boy?
I think we have, man. I'm definitely sure, but I can't see the game. I can't load the game, the whole thing. I don't know, man. I'm just listening to you and help where I can.
You
man.
can't even watch it, can you? Can you get it on Mixer or not?
No, nothing else. Mixer is a black screen and I can't even join the game, so it's pretty...
That is weird, because I'm definitely broadcasting, because I've literally just checked it out. So there is definitely a Mixer feed there. Let's just double check on that. Oh no, now I have black screen as well. Ah, interesting. Yeah, and I don't know who Mr. Grimm is that making comment there on Mixer, but yeah, we are definitely having issues with lag and position changes as well, and that is due unfortunately to the host migration. And I'm not getting anything on Mixer now, so I don't know if anybody's watching. A few viewers actually, so for those of you that are watching, apologies for the quality. Sorry, I'll say again, for those of you who are watching, apologies for the quality here. Unfortunately, Mr. Grimm there is advising that we try and find the right channel, but I'm on the right channel. I was on there a minute ago, but I'm not getting anything either. So really not too sure what's happening. And we'll continue to broadcast. Yeah, it's under F1 tonight, Boyke. So F_1_ tonight.
Okay, I'll give it a try then.
I have got the screen, but I am just getting a black screen, same as you, and I don't know why. Let's have a look at this. Oh no, I've got it now. It is, yeah, I've got the, if you leave it on there, it will come up. So it's F_1_ tonight.
I'm still having a black screen.
Yeah, just keep it on there. And maybe check the settings. That's what I did. And then when I clicked on settings, I got the graphic come up. So the game is stuck on lap 15. So I have no idea even what lap the drivers are now on. I don't know whether it's worth. Well, I'll stay with the broadcast anyway. And I think the game has got stuck on the lap that we started to migrate the host, which was lap 15, which is why it stayed on that. I thought that was a bit unusual. So clearly the game is just not accepting any other data at this moment in time, although the drivers are out on track. But the interesting thing is now, is I have seen a few drops of rain. So I'm just quickly cycling through the drivers here, trying to figure out if we can figure out where or what people are doing. There is no rain, although I did see a few drops, but no, looks like we're clear. So Damie Hartman looks like he's still in second place. Although Seb Bogart is certainly a good way down the track to him. Yeah, at least 10 seconds ahead, I'd say. Oh dear, that's John Donkel by the looks of it. No, Miguel Torney, he's in the barrier. Turn 18. His car's still drivable though, so he does stay on track. So Miguel Torney hits the barrier there, turn 18. I don't know, is there rain coming down or not?
Yeah, it's gonna rain, that's for sure. It's gonna rain, I don't know when, halfway, something like that. Light rain.
There is rain starting to come down now on the track. So we are seeing
But Woods, unfortunately, I have some things to do, man, if you don't mind.
No, you go off, mate. That's no problem. I'll stay on board here because this is pretty much mucked up anyway, but I'll stay with the stream. And,
yeah,
at least keep broadcasting.
If I could
try and pick it up.
I stayed with you, man, but it's really hard.
No,
don't see anything.
You can't because you can't see anything, so it's a bit pointless.
Yeah, no, have a good one.
Okay.
I'll see you around, mate.
Alright, catch you soon, boy. Take it easy.
Peace out, man.
So we are staying with this race. Unfortunately, though, we've had some issues with some of the co-commentators not able to see the race itself. And unfortunately, we have no idea what lap we're on, or indeed whether the driver positions are indeed correct or not. So I'm on board at the moment now with who I believe is the race leader, Seb Bogart. Guido Ershon, I believe, is in third place. So apologies to those of you who are still viewing. Just been trying to figure out where people are actually on the grid. We did see Guido Ershine. He's come in onto a set of intermediates, as has Jerome Portmer, Kevin Van Delft. So we are seeing that the tyre changes are happening, although we don't know what lap the drivers are on. Seb Bogart is under a lot of pressure here. Looks like from the Toro Rosso driver, Martin Parder Cooper, as he comes into the pits. So Seb Bogart now going on to the intermediates, was still on the ultra softs. Damie Hartman is out on track, he's coming in as well, so he's going to be going. So obviously still very close between those two. Guido Ershine is in third place, and he's just coming round sector 2, the end of, coming down to the bridge in turn 13. So he's going to be able to close down that gap, certainly to Damie Hartman and Seb Bogart, but he's only just starting the third sector. And Damie Hartman is coming out of the pits. Seb Bogart already out and making his way round turn 4 now. Comes down to turn 5, no DRS obviously. Seb Bogart looks very much as he's still leading this race. Damie Hartman in the Haas is still second. Guido Ershine, I believe, is still third. Rob Mulder, I believe, is, well, I don't know, no, Rob Mulder is down in 13th place, so Damie Hartman. So Jerome Portmer, I believe, could be in 4th place. So apologies for the lack of commentary here, but it's just very difficult when not knowing exactly where the drivers are on the track, although I am seeing tyre changes. I am not seeing how many laps are being done. I don't even know which lap we are on now. So apologies for those of you that are still watching, but we've had quite a number of bugs. So Rod Mulder, I believe, in the Williams could well be 4th place. Xander Hermans in the Mercedes could well be 5th, and Jerome Portmer 6th. No. So I'm just trying to make sense of this for those who are still watching. Looks like Guido Airshine has indeed taken first place, and Seb Bogart is in second, with Damie Hartman in third. Kevin Van Delft is fourth, Miguel Torley in fifth, Jerome Portmer sixth, Martin Parder-Cooper seventh, John Donkel is eight, and Marcel Dronig is 9. Mark Stappers is 10, Rob Mulder is 11, and Zander Hermans is 12. So that is the positions, I believe they are at this moment in time, although I cannot obviously be certain of that. Okay, looks like I have an update. So Seb Bogart looks like he is still leading. Damie Hartman is second. Guido Eschon is actually third place, with Kevin Van in fourth, Mark Stappers fifth, Rob Mulder sixth, Sander Herman 7, Jerome Portmer 8, Miguel Torney 9, Martin Parder-Cooper 10, John Dunkel is 11, and Marcel Dronig is bringing up the rear in P12. Hopefully that's the right way out. And as to what lap we're on, well, we're closer to the finish than we were to the start. That I am absolutely certain. Now, it looks as if Damie Hartman is actually starting to close in a little bit more now on Seb Bogart. And this is interesting because the track conditions seem to be dried up. And indeed, I'm showing Damie Hartman as on the set of Ultra Softs. And Seb Bogart is still on the intermediates. So I'm not too sure if that's an error within the gameplay or not. Let's keep an eye on that. It certainly seems as if Damie Hartman is closing in a bit more on Seb Bogart now. Let's see if he can catch a glimpse of him as he comes round turn 5. Obviously won't have DRS, but he might be able to catch a glimpse. No. He's just coming up to turn 7 now, Seb Bogart. Damie Hartman only just behind him. It's probably about 3 seconds or thereabouts. Let's get on board with Damie Hartman, see if he can catch a glimpse of the Ferrari ahead of him. He might do so out of turn 13. So coming up now to turn 10. Little chicane of 11 and 12 here as he goes over the bridge. Seb Bogart just gone around turn 13, so he won't catch a glimpse of him. Oh dear. Oh, that was not a good entry there. Don't know who that was, but that was it wasn't John Donko. I think that was Marcel Dronig. Not Marcel Dronig, sorry. Miguel Torney, yeah, it was. Have to be a bit careful joining the track there. Damie Hartman. Seb Bogart now. Let's see if I can try and get a grip on the distance between these guys now. Seb Bogart's coming into the pits. Yep, he's going on to those soft tyres, and I would think Damie Hartman will stay out because it looks like Damie Hartman is indeed on the ultra softs, and he should take first place from Seb Bogart here, and he does. Yep, Damie Hartman takes the lead. Seb Bogart in the pits, still not pitted. Now the question here is, can Guido Airshine get round? I don't think so. He's only just coming around turn 14, starting the third sector. So Damie Hartman now coming round turn 5 as Seb Bogart exits the pits. Now clearly, no idea how old these Ultrasofts are, but they definitely look in worse condition. Let's have a quick look at. So definitely Damie Hartman will be having to come in and pit off these Ultrasofts, because they certainly are showing some good wear on them. Now he needs to build up a gap obviously to Seb Bogart in order to make that work, but at this moment in time, well, Seb getting caught up now, looks like with Miguel Torney. This is coming round turn 9 to 10 now. It's actually a shame Miguel Torney is not in his car as AI, but I don't believe it is. So this is interesting point of view now. So Seb Bogart just come around turn 13, coming up to turn 14 now. And Damie Hartman is into the pits. This is where he needs to make it count now. Seb Bogart only just coming round turn 16, 17 now. Damie Hartman will have the opportunity to get out ahead of Seb Bogart. This is crucial. Seb now turn 18, round 19. Damie has changed tyres. He's got Marcel Dronig ahead of him though. Seb Bogart now only just coming round turn 21. So Damie Hartman has pitted and will get out ahead of Seb Bogart. So he maintains that first place. Great job from him there. So he stays out ahead of the Ferrari. Oh, nearly spins it there out of turn 3. Seb Bogart coming round turn 3 now. Round 4, and that was 4 that Damie nearly lost it there. It's coming down to turn 6. Seb Bogart only just coming round now. Let's get on board with Damie. Round 7. Yeah, so I think there's about a good 3-second gap there between them at this moment in time. Actually, it's longer than that. It's probably 7 seconds actually. Round turn 13 there. They're coming round the back markers. Sander Hermans there, I think, got nudged by the Ferrari and into the wall. So not too sure what's happened there. Believe Guido Airshine is still in 3rd place. Seb Bogart coming around turn 21 now. Looks like it's about an 8-second gap between Seb and Damie Hartman off the top of my head there. So real fight going on here now. Interestingly, Seb is actually onto the yellow walls and Damie has stayed on the ultra soft, so he will have the advantage is a question of how long they have to run, and unfortunately I have no idea what lap they are now on. Although, as I said, one thing I am absolutely certain of is that they are definitely closer to the finish than they are the start. And that's about as far as I can go on that one. But I would suspect we're probably round about lap 40 so. At least we've managed to catch some of the action going on there between Damie and Seb. Difficult to comment on anything else on the track at this moment in time, because really not too sure how accurate these positions are. Although I'm pretty safe, I think, on the top three. We're riding on board now with Guido Airshine as he's coming up to turn 10. Yeah, driver moving over there. That was, I think, the sound of Herman's in Mercedes. He's got, looks like McLaren ahead of him. Or it could be the Ferrari. Yes, I think it is actually. I think it is the Ferrari of Seb Bogart. It is, indeed. So Seb Bogart is now within viewing distance of Guido Airshine. So could we see Guido Airshine, the Renault driver, take second place from Seb Bogart? Seb is on a set of... Oh, good God, that was so close. I think Miguel Jordi there, facing the wrong direction. And that was too close to call. How Guido managed to avoid him, really not too sure. But he's definitely closing down. And he's on the Hypersofts, and that's probably why. So he is on the Hypersofts, and he is really closing down on Seb Bogart now. They're coming down to turn 7. He is taking seconds out of him, and he can definitely smell blood. Around turn 9. Long stretch down to turn 10 into the chicane now. 11 and 12 over the bridge. Oh, it's not. No, it's not the Ferrari. It is the McLaren. So I think that's the McLaren of Kevin van Delft, but he is definitely closing down on him. Don't think it's Mark Stappers. Oh, it is Mark Stappers. So it's the back marker, Mark Stappers there. So that's where we are. Guido Airshine, but he's not. He is in actuality closing in on Mark Stappers in the McLaren. And that being the case, we should see blue lights for Mark Stappers ahead to get him to move out of the way. Once Guido gets that little bit closer to him. Let's see if we can actually ride on board. Yeah, Mark letting him pass there. There's the blue flag, so Guido Airshine goes through past Mark Stappers. Out of 5. Damie Hartman looks as if he's still in the lead. Indeed, he's catching up to Jerome Portmer, back marker there. Seb Bogart just coming round turn 14 there. So he's still a little bit down the road behind. Guido Airshine just come around 13, approaching 14. Oh no, sorry, 10. I apologise there. So Guido that little bit behind. Seb Bogart is just coming around 20. And Guido Airshine just coming around turn 13 there. So still quite a gap between Guido and Seb Bogart. Looks like Kevin Van Delft. Don't know where he is. Maybe in the pits. Sander Hermans now. Let's see what's happening with the Mercedes driver. Looks like he's bringing down the rear of the track. Oh, yeah, and he's just got nudged by the Haas there. I think that was Damie Harmon. Well, it couldn't have been anyone else. So I think the drivers are actually having issues in knowing who is actually in this race or not, because the AIs are not showing. In fact, the drivers, if you note, have got the crosses and some of the drivers ahead of them, so they're not too sure if they're actually racing or not. And I think that's why there's been some collision with some of the back markers. Oh my goodness, what was that? That was the Ferrari. I don't know what happened there, but that was like Seb Bogart, the Ferrari of Seb Bogart was just straight into the side of him, but this doesn't make any sense. Oh, dearie me! But there's no damage. What is going on? No penalties coming up. I'm really not too sure whether the drivers can actually see what's happening or whether they're seeing the same as we are or as I am. Let's keep an eye on this. Seb comes round turn 13 now. Let's watch how this works as he's approaching the driver ahead of him. I think it could be Martin Cooper in the Red Bull, or it could be Jerome Portman in the Toro Rosso. Let's have a look. Now, it looks like it is a Red Bull. It is the Red Bull ahead of him, Martin Cooper. He moves across, so he's let Seb through. We're running on board with now. He's round 11 and 12. 12, 13 now. So apologies for those of you that are joining us. We've had major technical issues this evening, so we can't be fully accurate as to the driver positions, and indeed, as you can see, we're stacked on lap 15 of 61. I believe that the leader is Damie Harmon. In fact, I'm pretty sure of it. Second place at the moment is Seb Bogart, and third place is Guido Airshine, although that could all change. So apologies for the lack of commentary, but a little bit difficult to commentate when you don't know exactly what position people are, or indeed what lap they are on. So I know that Seb Bogart has been pushing very, very hard indeed to try and see if he can retain that first place or get it back from Damie Hartman, but Damie is on a set of ultra softs and Seb is on a set of softs, so there's every possibility that Damie could come in, and but he still looks as if he's staying out on those ultra softs. No intention of coming in at this stage in time, and indeed looks like Damie's closing down on somebody there ahead of him. Let's see if we can try and catch on camera who that might be. And I think that is Mark Stappers. Yeah, it is Mark Stappers. Just coming across the back marker here. Sander Hermans. Now I'm not so sure if Sander's in the race or not. He seemed to be making contact with him. Although, as I say, unfortunately the game has gone a little bit skew with. Unfortunately, Bastabri crashed out early on. Funnily enough, lap 50. And I think in a bit of a rage quit, decided to leave the game, and unfortunately in so doing, as was the host, has created a few problems for the remaining field. So we are, I believe, running on board at this moment in time with our race leader, who is Damie Hartman. Now, the interesting thing here, obviously, I don't believe this race will be obviously cancelled or rerun. I don't believe so. But the interesting thing is here is that if Damie comes in first, he'll pick up 25 places, which will actually put him level in third place in the championship with Bastabri, who's quit out. So quite a critical time in the championship, and that would mean, if my assumption is correct, that Damie is indeed leading this race and has every possibility of winning it. He will take the full 25 points and get level pegging second place with Bastabri in the Drivers' Championship, and that would certainly make it very, very interesting for the remaining 5 races of this season. So we will see how that pans out, and hopefully at the end of the race I should have some sort of accurate reading, and we are hopefully going to try and see if we can put together something to post to the YouTube channel, as we have had an issue with, it seems, streaming to the YouTube channel for some unknown reason. So we'll get all these technical issues sorted out. Unfortunately, a few little bugs to start 2019, but I can assure you next week it will all be up and running and in full working order. So do bear with me if I don't pass too much comment. As I say, I've said a couple of times already, I'm definitely sure that we're closer to the end of the race than we are at the beginning. That is one definite. Other than that, I can't be definite of too much else. I believe that the race leader is Damie Hartman, and second place is Seb Bogart with Guido Airshine in third place. However, that said, I am not 100% on that. Indeed, Damie Hartman does have Mark Stappers behind him, so he's already overtaken him. Guido Airshine is coming down to turn 7 now. Seb Bogart is just coming round turns 1, 2. Damie Hartman is already round turn 6 down to turn 7. So it could be that Guido Airshine is heading this race. Damie Hartman is in second, and Seb Bogart is actually in third place. But as I say, I'm pretty sure that it is Damie Hartman, followed by Seb Bogart. You can see the drivers here just driving into one another, but they don't believe that those other drivers are racing. This is where it gets a little bit confusing, because I do still show Rob Mulder as racing, even though he comes up with an X, as you saw in that in-car. Miguel Tawney, or John Donker's actually in the pits there. So it is a little bit confusing. Seb Bogart just going around turn 13, Damie Hartman coming around 16 and 17, and Guido Airshine around turn 20. So it could well be that Guido Airshine is indeed leading this race. But unfortunately, as I said, I cannot be certain on that at this moment in time, which is somewhat frustrating. But unfortunately, not an awful lot I can do about it. So we will wait and see. Obviously, at the end of this race, we will have a much clearer indication of who was where and why. But until that comes round, we are working on supposition. And Guido is on the yellow wall tyres. Seb also on the yellow wall tyres, and Damie Hartman still on those ultra softs. So I don't know how deep he can actually go on those, but he seems to have gone incredibly deep on those. Indeed, he seemed to be running them quite early on during the session when other drivers were still on the intermediate. So not too sure how that's panned out. It could well be. There's every possibility that Damie might not actually be in the race, but I think he is. By the way he's driving, doesn't look like an AI to me. But as I say, time will tell, and we will find out what is actually happening. We do have lap data, although as you can see there, that is somewhat inaccurate from Damie Hartman's point of view. So it shows him as 72 minutes. So that's how long he's been racing. Oh, this is great. So that's not really helping a great deal. Get some other things in play here. So he's got next to no battery left. And Seb's not looking too bad, still got 30%. Guido Airshine looking very good, 70% there as well. Again, watching Seb Bogart just pushing his way through, but again I can't figure out whether he can actually see those drivers or whether indeed they're actually even on track. So it's very difficult to tell here what exactly is happening. we're currently on board with Damien Hartman, who I believe to be the race leader. Although it could well be Guido Airshine. We are, I am sure, rapidly approaching the end of this race, and I think the only way I'll know who's the winner or not is once the checkered flag comes up. So we'll stay running on board with Guido Airshine here, who I believe may well have taken first place from Damien Hartman. Although at this stage in time it is difficult to tell. He could be in third place as he's showing here, and Damien Hartman could just be so far ahead of him, almost 3/4 of a lap to be accurate. It looks like Seb Bogart catching up there to Williams driver, letting him through. And I'm just amazed that Damien's still, as far as I can tell, on these ultra softs. Certainly very close. Seb Bogart just coming around turn 10 now. Damien Hartman coming down to turn 14, and Guido Airshine is coming around turn 18. So I believe these are the positions, so it could be Guido Airshine's in first, Damien Hartman second, Seb Bogart is third. And a terrible shame if we haven't been able to catch this race fully on this broadcast, if Guido Airshine does indeed take the win. So hopefully we should be finding out who has indeed taken the win here at Singapore. Apologies for those of you that are still watching, as we really have no idea what lap we're on, or indeed who's leading this race. I believe it could be Guido Airshine with Damie Hartman second and Seb Bogard in third. Equally, it could be Damie Hartman first, Seb Bogard second, and Guido Airshine third. So we will tell once we actually get to the end of this race. Drivers still racing. As far as I can tell, Damie Hartman still on those ultra soft, which he seems to have been on for an absolute age. So he's coming around the final sector now by the casino, underneath the bridge, or over the bridge rather, around turn 13. Coming now into the final sector, and 14. Guido Airshine now just coming around to turn 18. Seb Bogart coming up to turn 14 now. It's right on board with Guido Airshine. So I believe he could well be our race leader. Clearly that's not the lap for him. Damie Hartman coming round now, turn 21, 22. Not the one for him either. So still some running here. Seb Bogart now over the line. So it does look to me as if Guido Airshine is leading this race. But as I say, it could be Damie Hartman, Seb Bogart in second, and Guido Airshine in third. Track position does not necessarily guarantee grid position, if you see what I mean. Because where we're following, it looks like Guido is ahead of Damie, who's ahead of Seb. So we'll stay with potentially the race leader, although we will obviously find out in due course. Looks like the car of John Donkel spinning out there. No, it wasn't. It was Miguel Torney. I apologise. So I'm not sure if that's an AI racing. I don't believe it is. Guido Airshine. I think that was, well, certainly one of the Force Indias. May have been John Donkel moving over there to let Guido through as he comes over the bridge into turn 13 now. Not too sure what's happened here, but Seb Bogart going very slow. I think he's run out of fuel. Yeah, he has. Seb Bogart has indeed run out of fuel. Oh my goodness. Well, this is unexpected. Now, is he the race leader and is he going to take the win? Well, let's stay on board because he has run out of fuel, but he's still going. Shine now is coming round turn 20. Seb Bogart's still going. He's got no fuel left, so not too sure what's happening there. Is Guido going to take the win? Or is it Damie Hartman? Who can tell? Who knows? It could be anyone. But Damie Hartman just coming into turn 18 now. Seb Bogart out of fuel coming round 6. Is this the final lap now and Seb just wants to get rounds no matter what? Guido Airshine has just gone past him. So Guido Airshine has literally just flown past Seb Bogart, who's run out of fuel, to Damie Hartman. Well, let's get on board with Damie, because Damie is just coming over the start-finish line now. So I cannot see any other reason for Seb to stay out on track without any fuel, unless he believes he can still stay ahead of Damie Hartman, which is very unlikely because Damie's just coming round to... Oh, no. The game has stopped. Okay, so apparently Seb Bogart did take the win. Damie Hartman came in 3rd and Guido Airshine came in 9th. I think that's very, very wrong. To say the least. Okay, that's great. So we have no clarity whatsoever on that. So that's really interesting. So next week we will be back. I'm not too sure if we're going to rerun this race or not. We will obviously keep you notified. For those of you that are still watching, God bless you, because I have no idea why you would be. So next week we could well be rerunning this race. If not, then we will be in Russia for race 16, and that's on Thursday the 10th of January. That's a week from today. Thank you very much for joining us, and good night.